Hi, LinkedIn, and welcome to Mice Bites. I'm Nataly Horan, President and CEO of Authentic Meetings and Incentives. We are on episode 1 of season 2, and we are with Michael Lundquist, and he's with, tell me if I'm saying it right, CroisiEurope?
CroisiEurope, yes.
CroisiEurope River Cruises. I think they're one of the best kept secrets for meeting planners. They have so many itineraries, which he'll tell you about. They have a huge fleet, over 50. Their pricing is super competitive, and Michael's great. So he's going to tell you everything you need to know, and we'll have a Q&A at the end. So drop your questions in the chat. Here's Michael.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, thank you, Nataly, for having me on the platform. We're delighted to be here today and show you a little bit about CroisiEurope River Cruises and why we feel that we're a very good partner for a lot of these MICE groups of all shapes and sizes. And we just love to see those RFPs. I want to start off here with a video and just play you a little teaser video before I get into the presentation. So we are CroisiEurope River Cruises and coastal cruises and barge cruises and worldwide rivers. So we are everywhere. We've got a lot of ships in Europe, but we've also got ships worldwide. So we're going to talk about all of that. And we are very proud to be independent and family owned and operated for 48 years since 1976. Still the same family. We don't have outside investors or anything like that. So we are a family owned business from Strasbourg by the Schmitter family and based in Strasbourg, France, which if you've been, it's one of the most lovely cities I've been to in France and really all of Europe. Their cathedral is excellent. And if you haven't been, come talk to me. We've got some great cruises and a good shipyard there. We got cruises coming in and out of Strasbourg, our headquarters. We're the pioneer and leader in European river cruising. So we are the biggest river cruise company in Europe for European passengers. And we have 50 ships, 170 itineraries, anything from 3 to 27 days. You can cruise on canals, rivers, oceans, 40 waterways, 37 countries, complete on excursion programs with 1 port of call per day. So our excursion programs, we offer them sort of like a la carte menu for you, and you can pick which ones you want to offer. And really tremendous excursions everywhere we go. And we're an exceptional value for your money. We're all inclusive on board. That means all your meals, all your drinks, Wi-Fi, all of that stuff is included on board. And with the drinks, it's not just during your lunch and dinner that it's included, but all the time. The only exception would be if you're trying to name like the exact brand or things like that. And sometimes we can even accommodate that, but sometimes that might come with an extra charge. But for the most part, we're all inclusive. As I said, we have 50 ships on rivers and oceans around the world. We have 2 ocean ships and 6 barge ships. The rest would be considered river ships. Our sizes range from 16 to 197 passengers. And so that's a really wide range there. And we'll talk about a little bit why that range is like that. But that really shows that you can fit all sorts of different groups with all sorts of different needs, smaller, intimate, or very, very large. We have standard and premium categories for our ships. And these ships, the premium ones have been refurbished, updated and completely renovated more recently. And the standard ships are a little bit older builds that we have, but still very clean, very good ships to be using. And it just depends on your budget and where you're looking to go. On board, our food, we are very proud of our food as a French company. So we offer French cuisine with a local flair. So no matter where you're going, we are going to add that local flair there, but it's still French cuisine served in a French style. A little bit about life on board. We have an experienced staff and crew. They have an extreme passion for excellence. As I said, we're all inclusive on board, and our chef, Alan Bon, he curates everything for every single ship in our fleet, and he's a member of 2 elite French associations for chefs, and it's just an amazing experience dining on our ships. And then, of course, I mentioned we do have excursion programs. We have different ones that we can offer for you, from discovery to classic excursions. And for charters, we can mix and match and figure that out for you. So this is the map of everywhere that we river cruise. And as you might notice, it goes a little bit farther south because we offer, of course, we offer the Douro River, but we offer some cruising on rivers that other companies don't have currently. And so some of these rivers are right here in Spain. We offer a Spain river cruise. We're also river cruising here in Loire, the Loire Valley. We're the only river cruise company there. We are cruising on the Elbe River, and we are also on the Canal Bianco in Venice and Lake Kariba. It's our Africa river cruise safari experience, which we'll talk a little bit more about. So as you can see, there's more opportunity with us to cruise on more rivers in Europe. So maybe you've gone on a river before, or maybe you've gone through all the rivers, the Main, the Rhine, the Danube, those rivers in Europe, and you're looking for something unique and different. You should definitely talk to me and send me your RFP for that, because we can find you something different on a river cruise still. These are just some images of our premium category river ships. So, a lot of you have been on river cruise ships, and we'd love to have you on more. We're always available to let you on and do inspections of these ships if you're looking to charter them. But just some examples of the cabins and the restaurant and the ships in general. And then we also have our standard category ships. And as you can see, they have just been, the only difference really is the other ones have been remodeled more recently, very recently. And these are a little bit older ones that are in our fleet, but they're very clean, they're well kept, and they're very nice ships and can be options for certain groups. Now we're going to talk about some of the destinations that you can see. And I wanted to start with some of the destinations that other lines don't have river cruise is offering. They're not cruising in those areas, and you're not able to get there. It's like Seville in Spain. This is one of the highlights of our Spain river cruise. And so I wanted to show this beautiful city, which is a great place to visit. And then Prague. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Michael, we know about Prague. It's offered on most Danube river cruises. Well, I just want to point out with Prague is a little bit different for us, because we offer cruises that go down the Elbe River all the way from Berlin, and we can cruise right into Prague. And then at certain points in the season, we just do a Prague to Prague round trip river cruise. So yeah, well, other lines might bus you to Prague after your Danube cruise. We actually cruise into Prague, which is a huge advantage for your clients, and it's a beautiful, beautiful city. Just imagine taking a river cruise right into Prague. The Loire Valley, famous for its chateaus, as you can see here. They also have cave wines in this area. And this is untamed river, meaning it doesn't have any locks on it. We actually have a paddle wheel ship that's available on this one. And we are the only cruise line on the Loire Valley. This is a unique experience, and something you can only get with CroisiEurope. Bordeaux. We have one ship that does Bordeaux itineraries, and this is the cruise that I actually got to do when I first started with the company. I was blown away. Bordeaux is a city that was not on my radar at the time, and it is really up and coming and growing in France. It's got a lot of UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful city. And then, of course, you're in the Bordeaux wine region when you're cruising, and it also hits some coastal areas. And this is our ship that actually cruises in Bordeaux. And this is just showing its arrival into Rouen, and just showing you how this ship is awesome. It actually navigates some brackish waters and does some coastal areas that weren't on my radar before I took this cruise. And this can be a lovely experience in France for a variety of different groups, especially the wine lovers. Bratislava. This is one of the highlights of all of our Danube cruises. Just wanted to show this image of Bratislava and one of our ships cruising there. Avignon. So if you're interested in the south of France, we have plenty of options for you in the south of France. And then Porto. The Douro River has been literally our most popular river cruise from passengers from the United States, at least for, I don't know, at least 4 years going in a row. And it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. The secret is out about Portugal, and it's wonderful from the wine areas, from beautiful cities like Porto. You also have an option to add on Lisbon. So this can be a wonderful, wonderful option. And then Paris. And I selected this image to show you our wonderful ship here, Renoir, in Paris. We're able to dock right there near the Eiffel Tower, as you can see. And a lot of our competitors have ships that are a little bigger than ours. Our ship, we're proud to say, can actually clear the bridges, as you can see right here. So there's an opportunity to get a better docking location and to actually sail around through Paris at night and see the beautiful illumination of the Eiffel Tower and the bridges. And so this is really unique to us. Another thing with this ship Renoir, it also is able to sail all the way to Honfleur for those itineraries going out to the landing beaches. And Honfleur is one of my favorite cities as well in France, a small coastal town, just wonderful. But this ship can actually sail all the way there. And our ocean and coastal cruises. Now, we do a variety. We have 2 different ships. They're not so big that we can't still offer the river cruise type atmosphere. So these are still all inclusive on board and everything like that. They're just ocean ships. But the size of them allows them to be able to dock at the smaller ports and things. So they don't have to dock in these, huge cruise yards and things like that, where some of the big ships have to cruise. They're still able to do these small docking locations. So like in Dalmatia, they can still do all the small islands there in Dalmatia, or in Greece, they can do the islands there. We have Sicily, Malta. We also do the Canary Islands, and Corsica is another one that we do. And we're always changing the itineraries that are offered on these, depending on what requests we get for these ships. And there are some limited offers every single season with repositioning. So we like to see requests for, unique places and people looking to get maybe some sun while they're in Europe. So I can always offer these ships. They're wonderful. Give you a little bit of view of the inside of these ships. As you can see, they've been completely refurbished since they become part of our fleet, and offer a lot with several decks and still all of the inclusions of a river cruise. Even a swimming pool. Next, I want to talk about our barges. We have these unique cruises on all of the French canals that we can possibly offer. We have exclusive itineraries in several different regions. A couple of them come out of Paris, but of course we showcase Alsace, where we're from, Burgundy, Provence, and these are charming and comfortable. And you get to be very relaxed on these. So, somebody that's done a lot of river cruises before and maybe is looking to get a little bit more in depth and explore a little bit more at a slower pace, these barges are a wonderful fit for that. So we have 6 of them with 22 passengers and 6 crew members on board. These are ideal for family and friends groups and other small group charters. We've even had people charter them for board meetings and important other kind of meetings. It's just really intimate. You still get your chef. You still get all of your drinks included, just like you would on a river cruise, but it's just a more intimate feel. And I have a nice video that I can play here. But before the video, I want to tell you about the newest one. This just started in 2025. It just had its inaugural sailing recently, and it's actually sailing now all throughout 2025. And this is in Belgium. And this is a tremendously nice itinerary in Belgium. It's a little bit more urban. You get to see the beer and the chocolate making and the vineyard and wine tasting. So this is a really good one for foodies. And we're already having a lot of success on this barge in Belgium. So we think it's going to be staying there. In fact, it's already booking up for 2026 and getting requests for 2027. Here's a video that's going to show you a little bit more about the barges, because I think you really have to see it to kind of bring it to life for you. Cue that up. So I love that video. I think it really showcases those barges, and it's an amazing experience. I can just imagine myself on one of those meandering through the canals. So I hope you all enjoyed that. No, but now to another very interesting and unique product, and one that I mentioned before that's unique to CroisiEurope is we have a cruise ship docked in Venice. So this does the Venice lagoons and the Canal Bianco, and it's the CroisiEurope exclusive, as I mentioned. You get to see numerous UNESCO World Heritage sites there. So Venice, San Marco Basilica in Verona. We all know about Verona and its medieval and Renaissance buildings there and their beautiful amphitheater. And then Mantua, it's the richest and romantic city surrounded by lakes. And we also cruise around the lagoon. So we get to go to Murano, which is very famous for the glass production, and Burano, renowned for its lace. So as you can see, we have a variety of different itineraries in Venice, and we actually get to dock in an ideal location in Venice. So a lot of times I get requests from partners and groups and things that are just looking for a property to stay at in Venice, and they notice that our ship has this ideal docking location, and then we can cruise you around the area and around the lagoon, or maybe do one of the longer itineraries. It's just a fantastic fit to be very centrally located there in Venice, and I have a nice image here of us right there. I mean, this ship, you really can't beat that docking location, and you know, being able to have all your meals on board and basically use this as your hotel to explore the area and get more in depth in the Venice region. So this is a tremendous opportunity, I think, and I'm so glad to be able to showcase it to these MICE groups, because I believe that we'll see some RFPs come in on this one after they get the word about it. All right, now I want to talk about some of our more exotic destinations. So Southern Africa is something that is, of course, unique to CroisiEurope, and of course, something that we're very proud of. We have actually 2 ships in South Africa, and the itinerary, we call it Southern Africa because it's actually 4 countries that you're doing: South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. The main itinerary is going to be a 11-day, 10-night safari cruise in Southern Africa, including all the countries I mentioned. And again, this is all inclusive, meals and drinks included, guided tours and safaris included on this. It's an intimate experience, and you get very up close with all the nature on board. This is an awesome opportunity because you get to do land safaris, but you also get to do water safaris. So we can take you close to all the wildlife. You know, you're not just limited to the land. We do unique cruise on Lake Kariba, and we do land and water safaris, as I mentioned. And you can also extend your stay with us. We have some neat options to do that. If you're coming from the United States and you want to include Cape Town, we do have that option for you. Many of them start in Johannesburg, but we can add Cape Town onto that. And then we also have an option to add the legendary Rovos Rail. This is a unique high-end experience. So if you have one of those groups that's looking for that, we can add the legendary Rovos Rail onto the end of one of our Africa cruises. So if you're interested, make sure you let me know about that. But I want to showcase some of the images. Because the Cascades and Casa Lodges are first-class lodges in the heart of nature. As you can see, enormous rooms, beautiful pools. It's just, you're right there in nature, and you get to know the local people, the local culture of the area. So fantastic properties. And so these ships hold 16 passengers, and the lodges are custom built to hold the same. So you basically just have 8 cabins on the ship and 8 cabins on the lodges, or rooms, I should say, at the lodges. And so a fantastic way to stay, and just a tremendous experience overall. Here's the 2 ships. They're called the African Dream and the Zimbabwean Dream, and they are both sister ships, so identical ships, and they are premium ships. As you can see, the height of luxury, lots of room, lots of space. There's a pool on board, small dipping pool that you can get in, observation areas all on board. Some of the groups that go with us are really into the bird watching that you can see on board. So we have binoculars and viewing devices devices available for you from all of the windows. And so fantastic experience in Africa, intimate and fantastic experience. And last but not least, I want to talk about the Mekong, because we have a beautiful ship that you see here, the Indishin 2 on the Mekong. This is our newest ship on the Mekong, but we also have another ship that we're offering. We wanted to show you some of the beautiful images of this ship. And so this is a premium ship all the way, pool on top. You can see the beautiful wood interior, spacious rooms. So it's an incredible ship, and we do an incredible program on the Mekong. We have a couple of different itineraries that you can choose from. So it depends on if you're a little more adventurous or want to do the classic. And of course, for charters, we can talk to you about, mixing and matching things. The food on board is excellent. Of course, it has that local flair, but still with the French influence, and it's a fantastic way to go. One of the other ships, so that one's 31 cabins. The other ship is the Indishin. And so this was our first ship there. And it's a standard ship, 24 cabins. But as you can see, beautiful ship. It's just a little bit older than the Indishin 2, and it provides a tremendous value. And it's a wonderful ship to also consider. And also, if your group is a little bit smaller, this one might actually be a better fit in certain circumstances. So the Indishin 1 and the Indishin 2 are the ships that we are showcasing today for Mekong. And that concludes the presentation part. So, we're going to do the little question and answer part, but I just wanted to thank you very, very much. I have my direct office line on there and my email, and, just feel free to reach out to me. We're looking forward to seeing the RFPs come.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Natalie.
That was great. I knew it was going to be great. I love that. We do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So let's start. We have a few minutes. Let's see. Can you offer private excursions for non-charter groups?
Yes, in certain circumstances we can, depending on the size of the group, it might be, tiered pricing that we do for the excursions, but I can handle that, and we can show you, because they're probably going to want to have their exclusive coach to do that, and their own guide to do that. So we are able to do that. If it's not a charter, we can, make it so that you're doing your excursions exclusive for your group.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Can you accommodate changes to sailing schedules?
Yes, actually, if we have enough time, we can do that. And we have done that, and we've done some pretty unique things. I think I mentioned on the ocean ships, we've actually had some very unique requests for those ships, and been able to accommodate those with enough time and planning, sometimes involving GPS coordinates and all that stuff. So it's not something that's, always really quickly done, but we can do that. Also, just slightly altering the sailing schedule on a river to include something that's very interesting, or maybe you have a group that has a special interest of some sort, and we need to dock some places, like if it's wineries or something like that, we might need to change the docking locations a little bit for those types of things. So yes, if you give us enough time, we can definitely do that within reason. I always like to add that.
Yeah, it's surprising what people can ask for.
Yes, it is. That's very true.
Okay, next question. Are different service levels offered on premium ships versus standard ships?
Oh, that's a really good question. So actually, no. So I didn't mean to. The premium ships are the most up-to-date ships that we have, and they've been refurbished and completely remodeled. They're the newest ships that we have. The standard ships are a little bit older, but the service is available on board, and the service level on board is consistent across our entire fleet. So you'll be getting the same inclusions that I talked about with the meals, the drinks, the excursions. All of that is the same whether you're on a premium ship or a standard ship.
Okay. Yeah, great. I have a question. I'm all about the barge. I love this whole barge thing. I think it's probably a lot fancier than it sounds. When you say barge, it's not.
Sometimes I wish there was a better word for it, but they really are just luxury barge. And I like to use the word boutique, because it's just so intimate and so unique that we do get some of our most high-end clients requesting the barge experience because it just takes you places that other places can't.
Well, how many cabins? That's my question. Like, how big is a barge?
So it's going to be 22 passengers total.
Okay.
So in one of the cabins is it's not like ADA compliant, but it's set for a passenger that might have limited mobility or something like that. So
Right.
really, and sometimes people use that for like a tour leader or maybe somebody from the company that's hosting an event when we're talking about the MICE
Sure.
groups. So then you truly have 20 passengers to sell on it, and they still have a chef, and they still have a cruise director, and they still have a crew on board taking care of them. So, most recently, the feedback I've had is, they're just amazed of how they got to interact with the chef and talk to them. And, there's even been a few itineraries where they talk about the chef's been able to send the passengers to the market and bring back an ingredient to be included. And really just cool things like that, where they really get to know the people on board. And, these crews, they love it doing it. They love being together, and they're really intimate teams.
That's so unique. And, I bet the pricing on all of this is probably better than what people think. People hear, Venice, and this and that, and it sounds really fancy, but you guys, it's worth sending an RFP because, when people are comparing land programs to this and you try to compare, this is probably very competitive, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And Venice is a tremendous example. I mean, just try to get some hotel quotes from on the island in Venice, not Mestre, but on the island.
Yeah.
It's gonna be up there. And then, look at our ship as an alternative to explore not just Venice, but the whole lagoon, and go up the canal up there, and you can experience the whole region. So that's a really good example. And yes, our pricing is really good. Especially we work with a lot of charter partners, so we're really good at turning the quotes around quickly and adjusting them to fit. And we are flexible with food and beverage requests, special things that anything that goes with that, we're able to accommodate it.
Nice. And I know you had mentioned that your itineraries, you're able to maybe get a little bit shorter itineraries than some of the other cruise lines.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So being a European cruise line, actually, many of our cruises can be like 4-night cruises, and they're very popular for the European market. Some of the US market likes it, but it's a little bit short for them to fly over for a leisure group. But it's a perfect fit for some of these MICE groups. They're looking exactly for like a 4-night itinerary a lot of times. And we even have some that are just 3 nights. So, those can be really good examples for that's available to MICE groups, and, isn't as interesting to the leisure market.
Yeah, I mean, it opens it up as an option.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people just, consider it, because it's probably more doable than people think.
Definitely. And we have some options. There's one on the Danube I was just looking at, that's a 4-night program on the Danube that's perfect. In and out, you get to see all the highlights, including Vienna and Bratislava. But you can wrap it up pretty quickly, and maybe do a post night and go home.
That's great.
Yeah.
One thing that Michael didn't talk about, but you should look into yourself, that I think is great, is how sustainable the company is. I was doing my own research, and I was just going through, and they're super, super sustainable, but there's just too much to talk about. So if you're interested, you can look into it a little more, because it's
absolutely.
really
Absolutely. And along those lines, I mean, it's in our entire fleet, but a few, I think it was about a month ago, we announced in 2027, we're going to be on the Amazon with one of the most sustainable ships. It's a brand new ship build. It's going to be one of the most sustainable ships out there on the Amazon. So stay tuned. Got to stay tuned for more information on it. We just did our teaser right now, but if you have questions about it, please send me, because I'm already making a list to send everybody the detailed information when everything is complete. And I think I'm not too far away from that.
That's exciting. Cool.
Yes,
yeah. So many really cool itineraries. I love this.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Michael. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll be back next week. Same time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.